Hi, it's me again. I don't know if you liked that last video, the first ever time I did the whiteboard content, because I am literally recording this minutes after I recorded that one and I started uploading it up to YouTube. You can actually even see, maybe you can see table equity in here somewhere. Here's the thing. I want to make this content. I don't like to batch create content. What I like to do is I like to create content in the moment. And sometimes the most important thing you need to do when you're creating content is to just press start. You got to press record, you got to go. You just have to have a sense of urgency sometimes. For some people it's there, for some people it isn't. For some creatives it's there, for some people to get like writer's block or content creator's block. I've been through all of it. I know right now I feel good enough to make this content, so I'm going to make it. And if it's good, great. If it's not, it's just reps under my belt. Okay. So why am I making back-to-back whiteboard content? Which, by the way, I love that I got this up. Like I won't even show you, but like I use these 3M white strips in the back here, and the lighting isn't ideal, it is not the best, but I have to just press record. I gotta go. So this particular whiteboard content piece for YouTube. Again, I am not Rudy. I am not Alpha Investments. This is Denny Cards. If you like content like this, please leave a like, subscribe, comment. Like, comment, subscribe. I am also not SCV Sports Cards. Go follow their channels. Go check them out. They do this stuff much better than I can. I just want to make this content. It's fun to me. I did the first one. And I got a high, and I was like, you know what? I got to do it again. I got to do it again. So here's the thing. I have not set up as a vendor, as a card show dealer since August of 2024. It is currently March of 2025. So that is September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 7 months. That's more than half of a year. In 7 months, I have not set up as a vendor. So why should you even take any of my advice? You probably shouldn't, okay? But I know that as someone who has done it in the past and has really enjoyed it and has some reps under the belt, it might be a little rusty getting back into it. I'm also not the quickest negotiator. I'm not someone who knows his numbers and is in the transactional side of the hobby to like, bleed people and to like, cook them and to like just absolutely destroy them. I actually don't really like the transactional side of the hobby. If I had my choice, I would keep all my cards and I would never sell anything and I would enjoy all the cards I have. Having said that, I don't have a money tree in the backyard. I checked. It's it's planted, so nothing's growing. But what I need to do is self-fund the hobby, try to make some money to keep getting cooler cards. Okay. So I guess I don't know when I'm gonna release this, but by the time you're watching it, you may or may not know. But I am happy to announce that I will be setting up as a dealer at I don't know, I forget how many tables are going to be, like 75 tables. It's going to be in Glen Burnie, Maryland. It's going to be hosted by Landers Rips. Let me put that up here, okay? I have this thing for a reason, right? So, Landers Rips. I'm going to put his, I don't know, like tag or actually I'm not because I'm not going to be doing any editing and all that. So Landers Rips, he's on IG, he's on YouTube. Go check him out. This is like a portmanteau. I don't know if that's like too highfalutin of a word for you guys, but this is Tyler and Landon. I think, yeah, I think that's what it is. Father son, and they have a show 3:15 from I think it was 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., which we're going to talk about in a moment here because that's kind of unconventional. It's going to be in Glen Burnie, Maryland, which is about an hour drive from me in Alexandria, Virginia. And I just realized I do not know exactly where the parking lot is. I don't know if this is I think it's a mall show. I don't know exactly. I got to find the actual address, but I don't know where it is in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Let me just check if the video is still going. Yep. Okay. It's still recording. The first time I made this content, you got to like silence your phone. You got to turn off all notifications because if you get someone trying to call you or if something interrupts your recording stream, you're like done. You just have to re-record whatever, right? So I'm not going to get into all that right now. So Glen Burnie, Maryland, March 15th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Landers hosted by Landers Rips, which is a father-son duo in Maryland. So 9 to 2. That's a little unconventional. Again, I don't know how experienced you are with card shows, but I'm used to card shows starting around 10 a.m. and they go for somewhere around like say 4 to 5 p.m. Let's say 5 p.m. So this is 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 5 hour show. Okay. And I think attendance is free. And I think, I think Tyler, I think you'd be okay if I told people, but for this show, the tables are $40. Okay. $40 a table. And I think there are discounts for multi tables and all the, every promoter and vendor does things differently. 10 to 5 is quick math. That's 7 hours, right? So, and then you have multi day shows and all that stuff. So we're not talking about a 10 to 5, 7 hours. This is a 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., 5 hour show. I know that time flies. Okay. Time flies in this hobby. Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're looking through your cards. Time flies when you're comping, when you're making content, when you're consuming content, just anything in the hobby, like, and especially with hobby drama, hobby news. It just seems like a week in the hobby can feel like a month in real time. I don't know if you agree with that, but that's how I feel. So a 5 hour show is gonna fly by real quick. I'm used to kind of like the first off the line. That's what I want to call it. But it's like this preview where, let's say, admission is $10. The first off the line of the first 30 minutes, it's like early admission. I don't know why I put hours. 30 minutes is like an additional $5, something like that, right? So like I think Chantilly does something like that. I know some other shows like to do that. They're just giving people like an affordable price point or free sometimes, but an affordable price point, but then saying, hey, if you want to be a VIP or if you want to go in early, you got to pay a little bit extra. And some people who are there to like wheel and deal, it's totally worth it to them. And it's also like they don't mind, buying it for that amount. Maybe they do mind. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me if it's worth it or not. But we're talking about a 5 hour show. So I'm going to talk about what my plan is for March 15th, Glen Burnie, Maryland. Again, I can't remember exactly the number of tables that are at the show, but we're talking about 9 a.m. So this is my vendor plan. I don't know, vendor plan. And as you know, I don't know if you know this, but apparently there's a saying from the venerable Mike Tyson that goes something like, and don't skewer me if I get it wrong because I'm just saying it off the top of my head, is everyone has a plan until they get into the ring and get punched in the mouth. Okay, so everyone, I can come up with the best plan in the world. I think there's another quote with like, man makes plans, God laughs, or best laid plans, whatever, all that stuff. So I can have a plan, but I could completely get derailed. I think I made content about that with the Mid Atlantic Card Show, with being a show promoter, where I basically said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then as soon as I got in there, it all just completely, fell through or just it didn't work out. So my plan, let me say, I do have notes here that I want to kind of go off of. First thing I want to do is I want to get there early. I want to get there if I can. I want to get there by 8:30, maybe even 8:15. Arrive. I'll just say 8:30. That'll allow me time to set up. Actually, I might have to get there by 8:15 because I don't know the parking situation and the loading dock situation. Every show is different. But I may have to get there not at 8:30, but 8:15 because I don't know the lay of the land. I've never set up at the show and I've never been to the show. I don't know like what the layout is at all. So I'm going into this pretty blind. So I want to get there 45 minutes before it opens up to the public. And what I want to do is set up, right? I got to park, set up. I won't write all that stuff down. But I want to have, and I think I'm going to have a 6 foot by 3 foot table. Okay. So I want to have, I would love to ideally have two showcases. And I won't show the showcase that I currently have, but I have one showcase in my house. This is not one of those places where they rent out showcases and it's like the metal and glass. I just have like a plastic wood showcase. So I'm going to have one showcase and then I'm going to set up like some value bin boxes and I'm going to have some freebies for the kids, giveaways or freebies, give freebies to the kids. What else? What did I say? 5 hours, bring energy. Oh yeah, I mean, bring energy energy and energy bars. Like I'm gonna have to. So for a 5 hour show, I'm gonna power through lunch. Okay. I know some people are like, oh, it's noon time. I gotta eat. I'm gonna have a meal at the end. So I'm gonna kind of skip through things in between 9 and 2 p.m. It's gonna be eat meal with the boys. Okay. I feel like I know some people are going to be there, but I feel like in this DMV area, any show I go to, there's going to be a group of people that I would love to kind of like break bread with and hang out with. So I don't know who it's going to be. Again, I'm just putting some feelers out there, but I know Landers at the very least. I don't know if he'll have time to eat because I know promoters are very busy for the entirety of the show, setting up and dealing with everything in the show and then closing up shop. But I do want to have a meal with the boys. That means I'm going to power through lunch. The only times that, and I'm going to have energy bars, I'm going to have water, I'm going to hydrate. The only thing that I'm going to get up out of the table for is bathroom breaks. And that's where it's really important as a solo person who doesn't have a partner with them at the table. It's really important to have someone you trust or, build a rapport with, a neighbor, dealer, and just have them keep an eye out for your things while you go to the bathroom. Okay. So bring energy. I gotta bring the energy, okay? This is the really important thing is, as you can probably tell, like I have excitable energy. I just, I get a bit like that. But here's the thing. I have seen vendors literally sleep at their table. They are not selling anything. I don't know why they're there. I don't know if they're just there to hang out or just get away from their family. Like if I go to the show or when I go to the show, I want to make it worth my time. I want to make it worth because I am sacrificing family time by going to this show. Okay. I want to make it worth my time. It's not just about the transactions. It's not about making the most money possible. It's about building connections, having fun, making content, and just like really making the most out of an opportunity. Okay, so I'm not a show ambassador for this. I'm so glad. I feel like I've been a show ambassador for so many shows consecutively. This is one where I can actually just focus on providing a good customer experience to the people who come to my table. So that's the other thing I want to talk about. I want to have, and it's kind of like maybe not here, it's kind of more to the side, is I want to have like a tally of like the number of people who like, and again, it might be really hard. I don't know. It could be a lot of people. It can be very slow. I don't know this show very well. So what I want to do is say, keep a tally of the number of people who walk by, one, walk by, two, stop by, three, like negotiate with me, and then four, buy. Okay. And I haven't seen other content creators make this type of content, but that never deters me from making this type of content. I would love to. I'm gonna try to capture as much content as I can. I'm gonna have a secondary cam, which is gonna be I think my kid's iPad. But what I want to do is I want to see how many people walk by, how many people stop at the table, because then it's almost like a click-through rate. It's almost like YouTube like funneling, right? It's almost like click-through rate. You have like your algorithm and you have like your video, and then you see how many people click on the thumbnail. How many people read the title and say I gotta click, and then how many people are watching, and then how many people not just watch but then they comment and like. It's almost like this type of scenario. When they walk by, how's the traffic, right? And then when they stop by, it's did they see something, whether it was me talking to them or whether they saw a card. Will they actually stop at the table? And then once they stop at the table, doesn't mean that they're going to start negotiating. Some people may just stop by and just kind of look and then just walk away. But then how many of them are going to want to actually negotiate? And then once we negotiate, of course, that doesn't mean that everyone's going to buy, but do they actually buy from me as a vendor? Now, there's also going to be scenarios where there's like, selling and trading. So buy, sell, trade, right? Because we can also do part cash, part trade deals. Those are actually my favorite. I don't know if you've seen my content in the past where I'm making some transactions. I think you have seen. I do like to pick up PC cards or maybe cards that are more liquid or something stale in my inventory. So instead of just sitting on that card, whether I'm ready to let it go or I've been ready to let it go, what I want to do is I want to get rid of that card and I will put it towards either trading up or trading down. I'm a big proponent that if you are trading up, that you got to give a little bit more than, whereas if you're trading down, you can get a lot more stuff. Again, everyone's theories and everyone's approaches can be different to that. But for me, I do like to trade into some bigger cards if I'm able to, and then I'll add cash. Or if someone wants to, trade into a bigger card for themselves, I'll say, okay, I'll take your 300 slabs plus another $200 for like a $500 card or something like that, right? So just ways to kind of like negotiate. It's all about the negotiation. It's always all about the communication. Sorry if I'm talking way too quickly. I'm like, I don't know why. I have no time limit on any of this type of content, but let me slow down. Let me take a deep breath here. Hold on. Hope you did too. So we got the showcase. That's going to have my slabs and my single cards. I have some raw cards that are going to be like one of ones and low numbered cards. Again, I'm not going to show any of them on camera here. I'm not going to overlay them. You'll just, you'll see the card show block. You'll see what I have. So I'm going to have a showcase. I'm going to have value bin boxes, anywhere ranging from dollar cards to, I think I have some that are going to be like maybe 50 up to $50 cards. Again, I'm not entirely sure. I haven't figured everything out yet. But I have like a couple of days before the show. So we have a tally that I'm going to keep track of. This 5 hours is going to fly by so quickly. One thing, actually, I wrote down here in my notes is I will have a little bit of a conundrum, okay? I don't know if I plan to sell to fellow vendors, because the thing is, I do want to keep a good relationship with other vendors who also make up this DMV community. But what I want to do is give a good customer experience to the walking public. It's not just because I want more money from the public. What I want to do is establish a good reputation as a vendor who's going to have very reasonable deals, not for other vendors to flip and then sell at their table, because I don't want them to take all my good inventory and go, oh yeah, I got great inventory, look what I have. I would rather have the public come to me and go, wow, I really like what you have here. So that said, I might have to play it by ear, and it also may depend on the types of cards and what type of value they give me, but I would much rather sit at the table, set up, and I know a lot of dealers like to walk around and look at each other's tables and make some pickups so that they could sell at their table. But why would I want to get rid of some really liquid cards such as Downtowns and Kabooms when I can have someone who's walking towards me, like whether they are a repacker or whether they're a collector? Why would I deprive myself of that opportunity, right? So that's what I'm thinking in my head is I'm hesitant to try to sell to other vendors at the beginning of the show. At the end of the show, sure, I don't want to leave with I want to leave with less cards than I brought in. I think that's a lot of vendors, right? You want to leave with less cards. But you can also make some good deals, and you can buy lots and collections and all that stuff. So I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about you want to make it worth your while. You want to make it worth the time it took. Again, if it's a local show, it's not like travel costs and lodging and all that. But what you want to do is present a really good experience. At least that's me. When I have people stop by the table, I want to, again, not force people to, but through just being generous and nice or just talkative or whatever. And some people get very turned off by that. I totally admit that. Some people just want to look, they want to buy, and they don't want to talk. I get that. But when people walk by, I want to give them a reason to stop by. And once they stop by, I want them to give them a reason to negotiate or just buy, just at the sticker. But once we negotiate, I want to close the deal, right? I'm not the best at closing deals. I do take my time. It is a little bit slow. I just want to make sure all the math is right. It's just, some people in this hobby, especially when they go to shows and let's say they are repackers or they're like a LCS. I've experienced this. Some people are way too pushy and way too quick. They just want things to go their way and as fast as possible. And if you don't do it their way, and if you don't do it as fast as possible, you're almost like you're dead to them, or they don't want to deal with you, or they say you're difficult to deal with. And it's like, maybe you're difficult to deal with because you're going way too fast. So that's besides the point. What else do I have here? I do plan to only buy PC. I don't really want to flip a card where I buy it from someone for $70 and put it at my table for 100 and then try to get 80 for it. I mean, I could try to do that, but I'm not as good as that as other people are. That I just know me. I just know that if I buy a card for $70, I will likely just want to keep it. So that said, I'm not bringing a lot of money. I won't say what amount of money I'm bringing because I think that can be a little gauche and a little bit TMI. But I'm not gonna say how much money I'm bringing to the show, but I am gonna bring a little bit to begin with. So my plan is to try to sell as many cards to get that cash to maybe buy some cards near the end. But I also know that the deals in the beginning of the show, there might be some cards that are too good to pass up, or I feel like once, there's a lot of times where you think you'll come back to that table or you think that card will still be there, and sometimes it's just not. It's just not there. So, reasonable deals. I've tried to price. I'm still in the middle of pricing. I'm trying to price competitively. There's some cards that have many comps. Those are kind of like the commodity cards where they transact almost daily. Um, and there's a lot of comps. Those type of cards, I am going to comp between 100 to 110%. I don't want to go above 110. There are some one-of-one cards, though, and rare cards where I feel like, you know what? This is a low pop, whether it is PSA, like, or, other grading company. But there's some cards that are just rare where I feel like it does warrant more than just like 100% of comps or 110% of comps. And that, again, that's just me. But I would much rather even just keep the card and try to even selling it on eBay. Like, yes, it wouldn't be ideal, or it wouldn't be great for have the eBay fees eat into the sale of the card. But I would much rather sell it to someone who is like just wanting that card and not just for a quick flip. And that's, but I know flippers and repackers, they all have a role in the ecosystem of the hobby. I totally get that. Um, what else did I wrote here? Yeah, get food with friends. I am gonna have a box of kind of like slabs, like kind of like cheaper slabs. Where again, I'm gonna have to see if I actually do this and how I can execute it. But what I want to do is I want to have a BOGO BOGO slab box. Okay, so I am not a big proponent of mystery packs and repacks. I feel like you should buy what you want, but I also know that the hobby is a gamble, and that we kind of sign up for that, the unknown, right? So what I want to do though is, uh, if you buy, I haven't set a number yet, $10, $100. I haven't figured it all out. Maybe I'll even have some kids just grab things for free out of this box. But it is going to be a BCW white box. It's going to have a bunch of slabs in it, and they're going to be pretty cheap. Reasonable. We're not talking like PSA 10 Genesis Mosaic, downtown cards, but like some of them will be PSA 10, but they're gonna be like base PSA 10 cards that are like maybe $10, $20. Well, yeah, I guess there are some base PSA 10 that are $10. But some, like I'm gonna have C3 slabs, SEC slabs, Beckett slabs. I'm gonna have a bunch of cards from a variety of sports, but mostly basketball because that's what I have. I'm gonna have a box of slabs where if you buy from me, you can pick a slab out of that box. Whether it's a blind pick or whether you get to rifle through, I don't know. I haven't thought that out yet. But I almost like the idea of them just giving me a number, and then I'll just kind of like a pull box. I'll just say, if you say 13, I'll go just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then here's the card, or here's a slab. Again, the devil's going to be in the details. It's going to be about execution. It's going to be just, I'm going to have to probably go off feel and how it feels. Maybe I give more than one pull out of the pull box, right? Let's say someone spends like $500 with me. Maybe I'll just be like, hey, take 3 pulls, or, give me 3 numbers, and then I'll just go through the slab box. Or I can say, hey, you can look at whatever you want in here. Or heck, someone might be like, hey, I'll buy that whole entire box for $200. Like, would I say yes or no? I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet. The other thing I haven't figured out is what if someone did come up to me and said, "Hey, I want to buy your entire showcase. I want to, buy out your collection. I want to just buy you out right here." I don't have that number. I almost feel like that would take the fun out of it. I know some people love that. I know some friends where card friends where they've had that offer, and it's ranged anywhere from between $2,000 to $10,000, and they're just happy and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm done. I can go home for the day." For me, it's not about pleasing one customer or one person. Like, I want the experience of being a vendor. I want to put the hours and reps underneath my belt. I want to, like, again, establish a good reputation. I don't want to just sell to one or two or three people and then call it a day. I want to have the interactions. I want to talk to people. I want to, like, tell them about the content that I make. Give them some stickers, right? I'll definitely have some stickers, Denny card stickers. So if you're watching this, again, you're probably watching this after the show already ended, but go ahead and I hope you asked me for one. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying here, but thank you so much. I think this is it. This is my plan, right? Arrive by 8:15, 9 o'clock to 2, 5 hours. I'm going to have a showcase, Valley Bin boxes, gift freebies. I got to bring the energy. I got to eat the energy bars, but not too many where I have to go to the bathroom often. I'm going to hydrate, but not too much where I have to go to the bathroom often. I'm going to have a buy one, get one, kind of like, I called it BOGO. You need some sort of marketing. You need some sort of, like, niche, or you need some sort of brand. You need some sort of reason for people to either stay at your table or to buy from you. Okay, I'm a firm believer in that. Some people, they put like no effort. It's like literally they roll. It's like they're a coach and they roll the ball out and go, okay, go play. There's some people who literally be on their newspapers if you're older, or on their smartphones if you're younger, and it's almost like you're bothering them to buy cards. I think that's ridiculous. But again, that's just me. That's just, that's the way they operate. That's not the way I operate. I'm gonna have a 6 foot by 3 foot table. There's not gonna be too much room, but I think there is gonna be enough room for one showcase, Valley Bin boxes, and I'm just gonna provide a friendly experience as much as possible. Again, I'm gonna have a tally of people who walk by, stop by, negotiate, and buy. I am gonna make some buy, selling, and trading deals, part cash, part trade, part card, part trade deals, and I can't wait. This is like my favorite part of a show is getting to eat, having a good post-show meal. I said with the boys, if there's gonna be girls, women, ladies there, they can join. We're not gonna be excluding people, but we know the hobby's like overwhelming majority male dominated. But that's it. I don't know. I don't have anything else in my notes. I think my notes. I don't know. Whatever. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I had a good show. I'll definitely do a post-show recap summary, and I'll put the card show vlog up and all that. Thank you. I don't have your name up here, but Landers Rips. We definitely talked about what it might take for me to have a table at the show, and I give them a shout out. So go ahead and follow them on Instagram or YouTube and all that stuff. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you, the folks, have a great show weekend as well, or a great weekend into the hobby. I don't know. I don't know how to end this stuff.